Welcome to the HR Happy Hour. You are here for the work break with Trish and Steve. Hey, Steve Bose.
Hey, Trish McFarland. Happy Friday. We made it. It's the afternoon. It's almost 5 o'clock where I live, which is exciting.
Is it really? Okay, now see, look, isn't that funny? I'm looking at a computer. I did not even know what time of the day it was. Oh, it's time for a work break. Maybe
As they say, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. So cheers to everyone out there for a good week. And boy, did I know, I don't want to talk about any of the politics, but because we've said that all week, but does it feel like it's been a super long week, maybe partially because of some of that drama?
I think it has, but one thing I noticed, and I don't know if you noticed it, first of all, you start out and you're watching it like every minute, and then it's sort of like, well, it was on most of yesterday, not today. It's just like I'm checking in. But I noticed when they check in on some of the major news networks, and I check all of them because I'm not partial to one over the other. And it's sort of like other stories are now at the top, and it's just kind of in the bottom or on the side. Like, yeah. So even the news outlets are like, well, whatever, we're just going to get on with it. So I do think that we're ready, whatever the result is, for it to just be a result so that we can then move forward, right? As a country and have some clarity and start trying to hopefully bring people back together. Because I think that, I will tell you one thing. I don't know if you saw Joe Biden speak the other day. And again, I'm not saying for or against, I'm just saying he made it sound like that should he be the winner, that he is not, that the president, whoever is the president, is not red or blue.
Yeah.
And their job is to bring people together. So I like that.
It's a really good point.
I like that point.
Yeah, I hope that does work out. I like how you mentioned, Trish, though, like with everything going on there and other stories, they're trying to mix them in. So I did this on the Alexa show today, but I want to talk about it on the work break today because there was a fairly, I think, big kind of workplace, labor market story this morning that no one paid attention to, right? Between the election and COVID cases going through the roof, which is another whole story, which today was the jobs report. And it's usually a huge thing every month, right? It's the first Friday of every month. The jobs report released today. No one cared about it because it was after the election, right? Because it wasn't going to impact anybody's votes. But a quick update on this. So unemployment has dropped to 6.9%, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. That's down from the post-pandemic high of 14.7%, which was in April. So it's down over half, right? Wow. And so that's 6 months. And that represents, so in April officially, and I know there's a lot of people who are out of the labor market or not actively looking, so I'm not really counting them, but officially unemployed people in the U.S. topped out in April at about 23 million people. Wow. That's down to about 11 million people as of the last report, the October data that was just released. And just two more kind of stats I want to throw out at you. The sort of generational low in America for unemployment is about 3.5%. And do you know when the last month we were at that 3.5%, that low?
March.
February, right before the pandemic. So you're right on it, right? And it ticked up in March about 1% and then shot up in April like a rocket. And just one last piece of information, because I love labor market geeky stuff. At the end of the height of the last recession, the financial crisis of 08-09, unemployment maxed out at 10% in October of 2009, and slowly but surely went all the way down to the 3.5% that you just mentioned in February of 2020. And so we're at 6.9 right now, which I bring this up and I talked about on the Alexa show because I think that's pretty good news, honestly. You would, like, with all the lockdowns, all the shutdowns, all the cases, the fact that unemployment has come down that far, I think is quite remarkable. I would have never expected it to be that low that quickly. And I hope it's a good sign for the rest of this year and into next year.
I worry, though, about that. I think it is great. I would also just say that I think that it doesn't take into account the underemployed right now.
That's absolutely.
And again, this is a non-scientific. It's just I know a lot of people who were laid off or even just let go permanently during this pandemic, who are still looking. They're finding other ways to work, so they're not necessarily going to show up as unemployed, but they are certainly underemployed and feeling a lot of stress. So
Yeah, no, I know that the unemployment rate, the headline rate is not the full story. There's the underemployed, as you said. There's folks who are working maybe part-time who would love to work full-time. There are folks who've dropped out completely. So I didn't talk about the labor force participation rate. Maybe like the next time the JOLTS report comes out, I'll do my labor market update on that when we can talk about labor force participation and the quits rate and the hiring rate, because I'm super interested in that. But look, I just think that's fairly good news, though, just at a really, really, really high level. And it's good to have a little bit of good news on a Friday. And I was pretty pleased when I saw that this morning.
No, I think that's really good. You're right. It is surprising that it's bouncing back at least that quickly. Yeah. And especially during still continued uncertainty about, like you said, the numbers of COVID cases are still rising in many areas.
Sure.
We still don't have a vaccine. It's so many unknowns. And maybe we're just getting more comfortable with the unknown. I don't know. I think too, though, I was going to ask you, it's funny, I didn't know we never know what we're going to talk about, right? What the other ones got on their mind. Today, I wanted to talk to you about that, though. And it's because I feel like I'm personally at this point where I want to find something to do to make myself feel better, right? I mean, work is going well. Other parts of life are going well, but still, I just still feel like this underlying stress, just constant. And I'm just trying to figure out, and please, anybody who's watching, listening, tweet me, message me if you've got ideas of what you're finding to do something different. But I feel like, you know what? I can't feel safe going to a gym. I can't feel, but I'm also not motivated. It's getting cold. I'm not motivated to do stuff here for me to make me feel better. Like whether that's meditation or I don't know. I just feel, I don't know. I just feel like
it's a good observation, right? Especially as we get into the winter months in a lot of parts of the country where we're going to be maybe inside a little bit more. You can't get the benefit of kind of fresh air, getting out and doing things. That's a really good point. I watch a lot of European soccer on the weekend, Trish. That helps me. It's not for everyone, I know, but I'm excited about a huge game in the Bundesliga on Saturday. Bayern Munich's playing Dortmund. Holger Mueller, if you're listening, weigh in on who's going to win. They're the best two teams in Germany. I'm super excited for that. But that's a really good point about, though, just trying to look, because now this is November 6th as we do this today, right? We're talking, we're 8 months, right? I think the day we got on the plane in Las Vegas to fly back to our different homes, right? When we left that last event, it might have been March 6th. I could look it up. It feel like it was probably...
Yeah,
it was probably right around that day. So we're into 8 months of this, and it can get a little tiresome. Speaking of pandemic, Trish, I had one more quick item. Can I mention real quick?
Absolutely.
Hershey's, right? We love Hershey, the Hershey company, right? The chocolate. They had it's earnings season for a lot of companies in America. I was reading some of the Hershey's financial results from the last quarter. Why, I don't know, but I was. Baking products, right? Things like cocoa powder, chocolate chips, peanut butter, even they classify into that. Sales way up, about 16% up, right? For Hershey. Guess what Hershey's related products, or they own them. You may not think of them as Hershey products, but there's another category of products that are way down, Trish. Down 20%.
That Hershey's owns?
You wouldn't know it by Hershey's. I'm just going to tell you because it'd be impossible for you to guess, because I didn't know that Hershey's had these either. Gum and mints, chewing gum and breath mints down 20%. They're attributing it, Trish, to social distancing, lockdowns. We don't care as much if our breath is fresh because we're not around as many people.
Sure. Interesting.
So are we letting our breath go, Trish? That's my question to you.
I think it's, you know what? I think it's more important than ever because you're the one smelling your own breath. I think I'll be honest. Okay. So that's interesting to me because I normally don't chew gum. Not for any reason. I just don't. And I have been buying gum since.
Really? Okay. So you're bucking the trend.
And I only put it in for a minute to make my breath smell better. And yeah, so I don't know.
So you're caring about your own breath and your own space there. That's good, I guess.
I do. But yeah, I don't know. This whole thing is weird. I'm not surprised on the baking items at all because I was talking with someone earlier today and I was saying, like, I cannot believe this is so crazy. I'll admit it publicly. I have gained 15 pounds.
What? Since
March. 15. That's not like, oh, I ate some extra cookie. That's like, I'm inside. I'm sedentary way more than normal.
Are you doing though? Is it comfort eating? Are you just because with the stress of this whole year, it's like, oh, I'm gonna have I'm gonna have that hoagie tonight and I'll feel better.
And eating at the wrong time. So again, hey, if you're out there, if you've lost weight, like I keep hearing about these people who say that if you eat tiny, tiny, tiny meals every 3 hours of like healthy foods, obviously, not baking foods. No, I did a lot of baking early on. I watched a lot of British baking show and tried to make all the things. And yeah, I did. I ate comfort food and I'm paying for it now. So
that's some tough sledding right there.
But see, that gets back to it's your mental well-being, it's your physical well-being. And we are going into the holidays and into the winter months, and people are going to struggle, I think. So I don't know. I feel like early on in the pandemic, we were all about having these, Zoom calls with your friends and catching up and all that, and we were checking on each other a lot. I feel like that has stopped. Now we're using Zoom and other platforms like that for business. I don't feel like there's as much checking in on people. So if any,
I have to agree. Yeah, I was doing this Zoom happy hour thing with some family members for quite a while in the first couple of months of this deal, and we kind of we haven't been doing them at all.
All right. So, okay, as we wrap today, because we're at about 11 minutes, I would say this. If you have suggestions, please tweet you or I, right? We love that. We'll share them out. We'll give you full credit. Also, though, if you're not reaching out to people, if you're kind of like us and you've kind of gotten out of the habit, maybe that's the challenge for November and December, especially, is to let's make an effort each week. Reach out, not for work, just to chat.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because today I got a call from our good friend Madeline Lorano.
Oh, love Madeline.
Podcast network as well, right? With her radical research, but no, just for no reason. She just called me and we checked in, and it just totally lifted my mood, and my whole attitude for the day was just fantastic. So
we've got to book her back on the work break, Trish, because I joke with her. I've done about 3 of these work breaks with her, I think, over the last several months. And I have the same joke every time. Hey, Madeline, the last time we talked was the last time we were on the work break together. So we've got a good streak going.
Well, I tell you what, and she always does really good Friday ones. So what about this? I think, and the fans will love it. Let's see if we can get her next Friday.
Let's do it.
I will take a break.
We'll do a little happy hour show. That'll be fun.
You and Madeline do your happy hour next
little
Friday.
Cocktail break, yeah. Okay.
All right, we'll tweet at her and see if she's available. That'll give me a little day off.
Sounds good.
All right, good stuff. Hey, everyone. Thanks for listening, as always. Thanks for all the feedback, and have a great weekend. And we will see you all here on Monday.
Bye. For now.